So in late December, I had the most amazing winter vacation in Japan. It's kind of split into two parts. One was snowboarding and staying at this beautiful luxury cabin. The second part was going to this really nice onsen in Hakone, and I had a fabulous time at both. So I wanted to, instead of gatekeeping, share it as reference for anyone else who is maybe in Japan or planning to go to Japan and has nowhere to start or is unsure like what is the best course of action. So I actually wanted to kind of walk you through what I did, where I went, some tips, etc., etc. So without further ado, let's go. So first things first. So I'd been planning my winter vacation many months ahead, and there's this place, this site called Earthboat, and it's essentially this company that runs a bunch of luxury cabins across, I think, some rural areas in Japan, and they're mostly stationed in, I would say, like woodland areas and very close to a lot of popular ski resorts. So the one that we chose within the site was the one called Kurohime. And essentially these cabins, I'll show maybe like a screenshot of what it kind of looks like, but these cabins they're essentially like glamping trailers, I guess. They have these gorgeous giant windows that basically overlook the scenery, and it looks like basically a painting in real life. And it comes with, there's a personal sauna for every single cabin. It comes with like all the essentials you need for cooking, utensils, etc. It has a very nice bathroom, and it also is supplied with sauna equipment, campfire equipment, etc. Anyway, that we went to Kurohime was, I think, 5 minutes by car from the closest ski resort and 20 minutes to a bigger ski resort, which we ended up going to the bigger one. And you can stay at these cabins all year round, and we preferred the winter season just so that way you could go snowboarding. First, I would say packing recommendations. You want to pack very warmly. Nagano is very cold, and they had like record high snows when we went. I brought all my wools, all my fleece. I had a lot of like heat tech Uniqlo leggings, linings, whatever. Not technically Uniqlo. I've been actually trying to like wean myself off of heat tech, but like the Muji version of heat tech basically. So just very fleece lined. Always bring extra pairs of underwear, heavy socks, and yeah, a very, very warm, preferably down coat. So that and my snowboard gear is what I packed. And I actually took some footage so you can see what I packed. We are going snowboarding, so I'm doing some very, very last minute late night packing. And yeah, I have some gear already, some gloves, some snowboard outfits from many moons ago, and I picked up some new leggings. Oh my gosh, you can't see. And a turtleneck. I will share or might not share later, but anyway, hopefully this wraps up in the next half hour so I can jump into the bath and get a good night's sleep before the long drive tomorrow to Nagano. Basically, you can't reach the cabin without a car, and in the winter season, it's a must to have either chains for your tires or have the winter tires put on. I did see a couple of accidents along the road, so yeah, something to keep in mind. I think 3-4 hour drive from Tokyo, not so bad. We stopped by the service area and got some fun little treats for ourselves. Japanese parking or service areas are super fun because there's always like, you know, something fun, like kind of, I want to say like almost like street food that you can discover. So I picked up a couple of these like local delicacies. Although this one in particular wasn't much to write home about. It was okay, but it was like this kind of bread soaked in soy sauce and a dorayaki and this kind of like simmered rice bowl thing that my husband ate. Anyway, because we're staying at the cabin, we decided we were going to cook for ourselves, so we picked up the essentials, copious amounts of course, alcohol, and then we picked up some ingredients for things like beef stew and whatnot. And yeah, we made the drive. It was crazy, by the way. It started snowing like insane. And we put and for the first time in my entire life, I put chains on my tires, which was very chaotic, let's just say. Actually, before we even got the chains on the tires and we were just like driving normally, we skidded multiple times and I honestly like feared for my life. And we have like a 4-wheel drive like SUV, so it's usually pretty safe, but I was shocked. I'm glad I'm here to live to tell the tale. Anyway, kids, definitely start putting on those chains as soon as you see like even an inch of snowfall. Anyway, going back to the main story. So we also stopped by this really cute little, I almost want to say like a mini farmer's market. So there's a lot of like local ingredients and produce that you could pick up at this place. It's called Izuna Farm. And the area basically that we went to was this Izuna area. So there's like a ski resort, Izuna Skijo. And yeah, we picked up a lot of fun things and then we headed to the cabin. Here it is, Earthboat Village. Like, as you can see, it was like covered in snow. We're like, how did these other people like arrive? The snow was insane. Like, we could barely even see the entrance of the facility. So yeah, and this is what the cabin looks like on the inside. It's very well stocked. Also, the architecture is very nice. You can tell that they put a lot of effort in the design. Oh, right. I should also mention, actually, the reason we even chose this was because it was dog friendly. So, our life pretty much revolves around our dog. So, needless to say, we were pretty happy that this was a place that accepts staying with your dog, which is kind of rare in Japan, if I'm being honest. It's getting better, but I would say that there's not a lot of places that you can really go with your dog that are worth the investment. Like, they're like really cheap, or I mean, sorry, they're really expensive and overpriced, but the quality is quite low for like hotels or anywhere we go that allow dogs. So this one was very, very nice. It was basically, it just felt like somewhere you would go overseas outside of Japan. Like, they just allow dogs normally. So very happy about that. And our dog was so overjoyed. He was jumping in the snow. He had the best time. Yeah, he was digging it. Yeah, so we just had a bunch of downtime before going snowboarding the next day. I made some hot chocolate because it was super cozy, and of course it was spicy hot chocolate because nothing is better than spicy hot chocolate. So I guess my recommendation would be, yeah, pick up a lot of fun ingredients and meal plan a little bit before you get there. We made this like really simple beef stew and some salad and just cooked toasted some bread, and that was about it. So, oh, I also made this mascarpone bruschetta with kumquats on top and honey, which I absolutely love, but I'm going off on a tangent. The next morning, this is the view from the cabin, and it was breathtaking. Like, I can't even put into words or into this film properly, but we had our coffee and got ready, and then we headed out to the ski resort. And the one that we went to was called Kurohime Kogen Snow Park, I think is what it's called. And this also was, again, super rare, but it was a dog-friendly ski park where you could, or it was a dog-friendly ski resort where they have specific slopes just for skiing with your dog. So that's what we did. And it also had a really nice like dog run area that you could hang out with your dog. And yeah, so we went up with our dog on the lift and skied down a few times, or snowboarded down a few times, and it was insanely fun. Also, because we went on a weekday, it was basically deserted almost. There was very little competition, and I'm a terrible snowboarder, so it was really, I wasn't going to run into anyone, which is really nice to know. And yeah, it was actually quite spacious as well. I quite enjoyed it, and the snow was like perfect fresh powder snow, so you cannot ask for more. It was probably one of the most satisfying snowboarding experiences I've ever had. In between like things, we stopped by the konbini and I picked up a couple of snacks, and then we went back to the cabin just to like wind down and enjoy ourselves. And the next day we also went snowboarding again. I also picked up some snacks just to eat at the ski resort. I think my recommendation would be, if you can, try to bring lunch with you or snacks with you, because they have a lot of areas that you can just use as a cafeteria to eat whatever you bring, or else you'll be at the mercy of the overpriced, not so great ski food, the ski resort food, which has always been, in my experience, underwhelming and overpriced. So I picked up a lot of things at the konbini and yeah, basically just hung out with my dog, which was really nice. We also kind of took turns with our dog, so that way each of us could go snowboarding. So when we didn't want to bring him down the slope, so that was also like a really great experience. So it was also really great that basically, so I just want to reiterate that it was very dog friendly and we were very happy with how things went. And yeah, then we went back to Tokyo and picked up a few snacks along the way. Honestly, I'm probably not even doing this justice, because first, I guess, just to recap, the best things about the entire experience were, aside the fact that it was extremely dog friendly, the scenery was amazing, the snow quality was excellent, the location was superb because it was right in the middle of like really two major ski resorts, so you can really pick and choose. The cabin itself was very luxurious and very well designed. It was totally worth every penny. I would even say it's reasonably priced, because it was probably, I would say, less than $100 per person, roughly, like give or take. I might be exaggerating. It might have been a little bit more per person per night, I mean. But basically with that and being able to stay with our dog, it was totally worth it. It was super clean as well. And quite like recently built too, which was nice. The personal sauna also, I didn't talk enough about this, but basically coming back from a day of snowboarding with those aches and that chill in your bones, like, was such a treat. The sauna was amazing. And you can even pour this like scented, like hinoki, this scented oil that smells, I think, like hinoki or something like that, some sort of Japanese wood, and it just like spreads throughout the sauna and it's super relaxing. Anyway, that was something that I had not anticipated would feel that good, but it was. And being able to just cook at home or at the cabin instead of having to like go out and spend a lot on, eating out was really nice as well. It was very cozy, and even with that big giant window and the snow falling outside, the heater on, it was super warm inside and very toasty, so I had no complaints whatsoever. Highly recommend. We're gonna actually try some of the other locations in the Earthboat company, or the Earthboat conglomerate, whatever you call it. So looking forward to that as well. So that's the first part of my winter holiday. And then the second part, we went to Hakone, which was amazing. I mean, even as we're driving, you could see Fujisan right in front of us, and it was breathtaking. And then we stopped by some of the service areas, and this one had something I've been wanting to try for a very long time, but basically the kalbi station. So kalbi is like kind of a snack maker, or like, potato chips and whatnot. And we had these freshly made potato chips that they normally sell like in the konbini. And oh my goodness, this was delicious. They also have it like, I think, in Tokyo Station and other places as well. I also picked up some nikuman from Maisen. Maisen is my favorite katsusando maker, and they had like this limited edition Chinese style nikuman, which I was really excited to try, and it was absolutely delicious. So highly recommend. Anyway, so again, we went with our dog to the hotel, this onsen hotel, so Ryokan, called Nol, Nol, Hakone Myojindai. And they're actually quite a mix of, I would say, like local and foreign tourists. But yeah, it was very clean. There are specific rooms just for dogs to stay with you. So we were able to bring our dog with us. There's a very spacious cage. The scenery was very beautiful. Of course, it's Hakone, so it's very like, lots of woods, very relaxing. And yeah, I think it was very nicely made. They also have this like all you can drink, like water, tea, coffee, etc. So I was at the drink station refilling myself many, many times with their detox water. And yeah, the onsen itself was also quite nice. I think I tried it like 3 or 4 times during the stay. And they even provide you with these really cute like water bottles. So I also use that a lot as well. Anyway, it's rare to have like such a nice facility that you can stay at with your dog. So that was very, very nice. And then for dinner, it's like an Italian full course dinner. So we had the full course and some sparkling wine to go along with it. And everything was very beautifully served, very artistic, very like nicely flavored. I don't know. I'm at a loss to describe how delicious it was, but it was very, very worth it. I love course meals, so this was, I think, like a 5-dish course, so pretty good. And yeah, we woke up, had breakfast, which was also really well presented, and then we went to Owakudani, which is like I think, gosh, I'm at a loss. It's like a valley that has sulfur bubbling up from it, and it's very like hot, and I think it's related to something with maybe Mount Fuji, or gosh, I don't know. Yeah, Owakudani. They have these famous black eggs called Kuro Onsen Tamago, I think, and it's just basically eggs that have been steamed from this like sulfuric hot gas, and they just taste like any normal egg. But what was crazy was that the amount of people who were coming were so much more than the capacity that the buses could handle. And even the line of cars was insane. I've never seen this many like people like lining up in a car just to see this before. And since people couldn't even ride the bus, they started walking up the hill just to reach it. And it was a very long walk, but it was just totally like capacity maxed out. And it's honestly, guys, not that worth like lining up to check. So I was a little bit shocked, but if you really must see it, go very, very early to beat the crowd. I think we went around like 11 and kind of regret it. So afterwards, we went to Hakone Jinja, which was a really famous power spot and shrine. And then, yeah, we had some soba and left for Tokyo. So overall, it was a really satisfying experience, and it wasn't as satisfying as the snowboarding, but I do recommend the Hotel Nol. So if you get a chance, definitely check it out. Hakone is always a nice little respite from the daily grind of life. So that was my trip and my little spiel, but I hope that this helps someone in their planning. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer what I can. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.